The superpower of bouncing back. Why resilience changes everything. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to bounce back from anything life throws at them? Why they can face the same crushing setbacks as everyone else, but somehow emerge not just intact, but often stronger? I recently had the incredible opportunity to interview Leterice Parker, whose profound insights on resilience and community have fundamentally transformed how I view obstacles. Her wisdom, forged through her own remarkable journey of overcoming seemingly insurmountable barriers and now dedicated to lifting others, forms the backbone of what I'm sharing with you today. Leterice isn't just talking about resilience, she's living it, breathing it, and teaching it in ways that have sparked transformation across communities nationwide. The truth is, we're not born knowing how to handle life's curveballs. Nobody hands us a manual titled How to Keep Going When Everything Falls Apart. And yet, here we are, still standing despite everything. Let me tell you something that might sound ridiculous at first. Failure isn't your enemy, rejection isn't your downfall. And obstacles, they might just be the most valuable assets you'll ever encounter. I know what you're thinking. Easy for you to say from that stage. Trust me, I get it. But what if I told you that your ability to bounce back, your resilience, is actually your hidden superpower? One that Leterice Parker reminded me can be cultivated, strengthened, and wielded like a force field against life's most devastating blows. Consider Ursula Burns for a moment. Growing up in a low income housing project in New York City with a single mother who worked multiple jobs just to keep food on the table. The statistical odds were stacked against her from day one. The narrative society had written for her didn't include becoming the first Black woman CEO of a Fortune 500 company. But in 2009, that's exactly what happened when she took the helm at Xerox. How? Burns didn't just accept the barriers placed before her. She didn't internalize the message that Black women don't become CEOs. Instead, she leveraged every resource available: her education from NYU and Columbia, mentorship opportunities, strategic alliances across departments. She advocated fiercely for herself in rooms where no one looked like her. What's fascinating isn't just that she reached the top, it's that she started as an intern in 1980 and climbed a ladder that wasn't designed for her to ascend. Each rung represented another opportunity for rejection, another chance for someone to tell her, this isn't for you. But her resilience, that superpower, kept her moving upward. And when she finally reached the CEO position, she didn't play it safe. She led Xerox through a complete transformation from a document technology company into a business services powerhouse. A bold move that ultimately secured the company's future. Now, I'm not suggesting that resilience alone erases systemic barriers. That would be naive and dismissive of very real structural inequalities. But what Leterice Parker emphasized in our conversation and what Burns' story illustrates is that resilience gives us the stamina to keep fighting even when the fight isn't fair. Sometimes resilience isn't just about individual perseverance. Sometimes it requires collective action. Take the Crown Act movement. For generations, Black professionals have faced discrimination because of their natural hair. Imagine being told your afro, your braids, your locks, expressions of your cultural identity are unprofessional. Imagine being denied jobs or promotions not because of your qualifications, but because of how your hair naturally grows from your scalp. That's not ancient history. That's happening right now, today, in 2024, but a coalition of Black women leaders decided enough was enough. Organizations including Dove, Color of Change, the National Urban League, and the Western Center on Law and Poverty joined forces to push for legislation protecting against hair discrimination. Their resilience, their refusal to accept that's just how it is, has led to more than 20 states passing versions of the Crown Act into law. Companies have updated their policies to embrace natural hair diversity. Millions of people can now show up as their authentic selves without fear of reprisal. That's the power of collective resilience. That's what happens when a community refuses to bounce back to an unjust status quo and instead bounces forward into something better. As Leterice Parker so eloquently put it during our interview, community isn't just about having people around you, it's about having people who hold space for your growth even when you can't see it yourself. Which brings me to another powerful example, Minda Harts, author of The Memo. Early in her career, Harts navigated exclusionary corporate environments where she often found herself isolated, the only person who looked like her in leadership spaces. She encountered microaggressions daily and lacked mentorship opportunities specifically tailored for Black women professionals. But instead of accepting this reality, she began writing about her experiences online. She built supportive networks, founding the Memo LLC to provide coaching and training specifically designed for underrepresented groups. Her book became a bestseller. She now regularly consults with Fortune 500 companies on equity and inclusion strategies. She's been named a LinkedIn top voice and featured by Forbes and CNBC as one of today's most influential voices championing workplace equity. What's remarkable about Hart's journey is how she transformed her personal resilience into community empowerment. After years of feeling invisible despite working hard and doing all the right things, she realized that sharing authentic stories could break the cycles holding others back. This is what Leterice Parker emphasized throughout our conversation. Your story has power. Your obstacles, your setbacks, your moments of despair, and yes, your triumphs. They all form a narrative that can inspire others to believe they can overcome too. When you share your journey, Letta Reese told me, you're not just telling a story, you're handing someone else a roadmap through terrain you've already navigated. Now, I want to be clear about something. Resilience isn't about toxic positivity, it's not about plastering on a smile while you're breaking inside. It's not about pretending everything is fine when it isn't. True resilience acknowledges the pain. It sits with the discomfort. It allows space for grief and anger and all those messy emotions we're often told to suppress, especially as Black women. But then, and this is the crucial part, resilience helps you take that next breath and the one after that. It helps you look around and identify what resources you have, what community you can lean on, what small step you can take today. As the African proverb reminds us, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Our ancestors understood that resilience isn't a solo sport, it's a community practice. Sister Maya Angelou captured this perfectly when she said, you may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. In fact, it may be necessary to encounter the defeats so you can know who you are, what you can rise from, how you can still come out of it. That's the essence of resilience right there. Not avoiding defeat, but learning who you are through it, discovering what you can rise from, understanding how you can emerge transformed. During my conversation with Leterice Parker, she shared an affirmation that has stayed with me. I am not defined by what happens to me, but by how I respond to what happens. Let that sink in for a moment. Your identity isn't determined by your obstacles. Your worth isn't measured by your setbacks. Your future isn't limited by your past failures. You are defined by your response, by your resilience, by your ability to say, this hurts, this is hard, but this is not where my story ends. So here's my challenge to you: identify one obstacle you're facing right now, just one. And this week, take one bold step toward overcoming it. Maybe that's reaching out for help. Maybe it's setting a boundary. Maybe it's simply acknowledging that you deserve better. Whatever it is, take that step. And as you do, remember that you're not just building your own resilience, you're creating a blueprint that others might follow. Because here's the beautiful truth that Leterice Parker illuminated in our interview. When you overcome, you become living proof that overcoming is possible. Your resilience becomes a beacon for someone else still finding their way through the dark. Ursula Burns didn't just become CEO for herself, she shattered a ceiling so others could see the sky. The Crown Act activists didn't just fight for their own hair, they fought for generations to express their cultural identity without penalty. Minda Harts didn't just secure her own seat at the table, she's helping others pull up chairs too. I stand before you today not just as a speaker, but as someone who believes with every fiber of my being that resilience is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's the difference between surviving and thriving, between accepting limitations and shattering them. The world will tell you 1,000 reasons why you can't. Your resilience is that quiet, persistent voice that says, watch me. So I'm asking you today, what will you do with your superpower? How will you use your resilience, not just to transform your own life, but to create ripples that change the lives of others? Because that's what this is really about. It's about understanding that when you rise, you create space for others to rise with you. The next time life knocks you down, and it will, because that's what life does, I want you to remember this moment. Remember that your capacity to bounce back isn't just about you, it's about all of us. It's about showing the world what's possible when we refuse to stay down. As Leterice Parker would say, every setback is just setting you up for something greater, not just for you, but for everyone watching, everyone waiting to see if it's possible. It is possible. You are possible. And your resilience might just be the exact thing someone else needs to see to believe in their own. Thank you.